Guy,
Hi, I'm Troy.
Hi, I'm Alex.
and this is Geek Tank.
You know what I was going to say anyway, size podcast.
Yep. You know. So, we're all here tonight to talk about stuff. And I proposed a thing, but then we didn't agree on it, so I'm not sure whether we're doing it.
We can talk about it and look stuff up, but I mean, don't we usually do like a little recap? What geeky things have you been up to?
Played Baldur's,
Nothing.
played Baldur's Gate 3 Friday with some nerds.
Hmm.
One of them's here.
Yeah. Yeah, but I only got to play Friday because couldn't play on Saturday.
Yeah, we were going to pick up where we left off on Saturday. so a guy made another incarnation of Ivy.
Yep.
So
And
okay.
every time she'd run through fire, I'd like, look, her boobs are on fire again.
Mm-hmm.
Because
That's
Ivy.
Ivy likes to light her boobs on fire.
It's a thing.
They're hot.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Looks like they're all legendary creatures. So, we
Kirk?
Oh, I'm not 100% sure. This could be anything. So, this is a fan made thing. Never mind.
They won't like they made the announcement. They're not gonna unless it's already been leaked, which happens. Nothing official is going to be out for a while.
Right.
Yeah. Let's see.
So,
nerdy things I've done. Let's see. Kiddo and I are getting close to the end of the original end of Futurama.
I love the ending, by the way. I love the ending to that show.
I already said like I told him that we're gonna watch the ending and then we're gonna let it sit for a while, before we decide to revisit the newer episodes. We are currently watching Two Towers as a family. Kiddo has never seen it before, and of course we're doing the extended editions, and then I'm also showing them Army of Darkness. Which I am very surprised to learn that they have not seen any memes from Army of Darkness. They knew a whole bunch of memes from Holy Grail and some from Lord of the Rings and stuff, but Army of Darkness so far, no memes have been recognized.
That is weird.
Yeah. I picked up Dead Cells for a little bit again. But I'm kind of like, I like it, but I don't know if I can keep on. Like, it's one of those games that I'm like, I could spend a lot of time and get really, really good at this, but why? It's not like, and part of it is that I pretty much figured out what's going on in the background storyline wise, but it's also like there are 5 levels of difficulty, and each level is pretty real. Even the basic difficulty,
right?
There's 6 levels of difficulty, counting that, and it's like, okay, I mean, I don't really want to get that good at this game. It would take a lot of effort. I was replaying Nier Automata, and I forgot something. I forgot something. Realized I'd missed something, and then the big forget was I forgot how forgiving the game is on missing things. There are only a handful of things you can really miss in it. And the thing that I was like, oh no, I missed that. I have to, redo it. And it's at the very beginning. And then I was like doing some stuff. And then I started looking at an endings guide. I'm like, oh yeah, it is actually really forgiving about that kind of thing. I really shouldn't have deleted my newest save game. So womp womp. And I'm like, you know what? That's my bad. I have no enmity toward the game for it. But I'm like, I'm going to play something else. So I'm actually going to play through Persona 5 Royal and get the original Persona 5 bad ending. It's something I did not get on my other 2 playthroughs. So yeah, that's going to be fun. I'm going to play my character kind of like a kind of everybody thinks he is like this criminal, and it's going to be like kind of a snarky shut in a little bit. I'm not going to do a lot of the other things. I mean, I will. I'm like, but like, there's some other in-game achievements I want to get, like, hit 30 home runs and do a bunch of fishing. I'm like, that. This is the run for that. No romancing. Just chilling out, playing video games. Oh, fine. I'll go do this. I'll go beat this bad guy's inner life. Fine. Go back to just being like, maybe we'll catch some movies. It'll be interesting. So
Yeah, I haven't played it. So,
oh, it's great. Persona 5 Royal is
yeah, I've heard you talk about it a
a
lot.
great
so.
game. Like,
Mhm.
for real. But, yeah.
Yeah, Steam's got a sale going on, and there's some games I was looking at. Let's see if I can dig them up here. If it will actually open or not. There it goes.
Right. I guess while you're doing that, I'm revisiting The Prisoner.
Oh,
I've not watched it probably in a couple decades, and I'm revisiting it, and it's still super good. Because I think
Are
so.
you a number?
I'm a free man.
Hmm.
But yeah, no, it's a complete series. There's like the edition I have has got like a viewing guide, so like synopses and trivia and behind the scenes stuff for every episode, and it's good. It's
nice.
very good.
Yeah, so the game's Cyberpunk is down to $20, 65% off. I've
Mhm.
heard good things about that game. Sounds like one I might like.
Yeah.
Wasteland
I've played some of it.
Wasteland 3, which was recommended to me by Dan.
Mhm.
Bakudan is 70% off, so it's $12. It's a similar to Fallout type aspect,
Yeah.
and Wasteland 3 actually is set in Colorado, like in the Rocky Mountains.
Interesting.
Cool.
Yeah, and then Frostpunk is 90%
Oh
off.
yeah.
And because I guess the new one came out or it's been out for a little bit, and that's building sim in a frozen post-apocalyptic world where you're
Mhm.
the main resource is keeping everybody warm. so
Mhm.
so it looks interesting. I figured for $3.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
So anyway, yeah, Steam's doing a sell. What's it called? Forgot.
It's
Autumn.
it's a day that ends in Y.
Yep, autumn sale.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
always. Steam's always having sales.
Steam pretty much always has some discount somewhere, though they are often deeper discounts. Yeah, I think this is. I'm going to try to dig out. I'm going to try to find a copy of D4 for PS4 because it supports couch co-op, and that way me and the family can play that. And we haven't played it at all yet. I haven't played it at all. So.
I haven't beaten 3, so.
Oh, I played a lot of Diablo 3.
Yeah, it's definitely nowhere near the amount I've played Diablo 2.
Yeah.
That I beat several times with different character classes.
Oh yeah, yeah. And you do like
yeah.
several runs with the same character, so you can make like six rune words.
Right.
Oh yeah. I have probably. I'm not sure if I'm not sure if I played more D2 or D3. The thing that always annoyed me about D2 is that very early on it was known that the math doesn't math.
Oh.
Like after you put a point or two into any skill, the math does not scale correctly. So it'll tell you it's scaling a certain way, and it is wrong.
Oh.
And it is universally not scaling as high as it should be. So I always felt that was annoying. But I played D3 in hardcore mode. And then after you hit level 70, it's all like Paragon levels. And each Paragon, there's 4 different branches of Paragon, and then there's 4 things to get up to 50 in each Paragon, and each thing in the Paragon level. So there's like 200 per each one, so 800 total. And my account is maxed, except for my understanding is that the health and hit points and magic points or whatever your resource points are, those can still scale up. But I was kind of like, I feel good finishing here. Though I didn't ever make it to the last few levels of torment difficulty or anything. And but it was great, you know, like just building some really cool item sets and yeah, I really pushed hard with the wizard. And wizard's got a couple. I had a really good blending of 2 different item sets to really crush the game.
Yeah, I'm sad I didn't keep my online account going for Diablo 2 because it's now gone. But
Oh yeah.
I had an insanely crazy druid bear tank.
Oh
So
yeah.
just be like, yep, let everything hit me. I don't care. Everybody else keep attacking while it hits me.
Mm-hmm.
So
Nice.
I
Those
watched
were the days. Those were the days.
I watched all of the latest season of Alice in Borderlands, and I cannot recommend it.
Oh,
I was disappointed.
so bad. Don't watch any of it, or
No, the first season was really good.
okay.
First seasons looked
First
pretty
season.
awesome.
Second season was all right, and I'm not sure because some of the stuff they did. Because after watching season 1, I'm like, oh, I want to read the manga now. So I went and looked it up, and as usual, the manga's better.
Mhm.
And they did a few things differently, and they did things out of order. Which I'm originally when they were doing things differently, I'm like, oh, that's a production cost. They can't do that because that's way too expensive.
Hmm.
But I was wrong. They just for some reason they chose to do them in different orders, and then. Season 3 has a game in it that I was like, I remembered from earlier on in the book. So, but yeah, it did this thing at the end that I'm almost positive, unless if another set of manga has come out. Clearly, Netflix is. Somebody's playing music.
It was me. I'm over on Steam looking at all the Steam things, and all of a sudden it auto played, and I was like, "Thanks."
Nice.
So I was like, "What's going on in Steam?" So,
but unrelated to the main plot, because I don't feel like I'm spoiling anything here. Unrelated to the main plot, it ends because the whole thing takes place in Japan. It ends in a diner in America with a girl turning around, and you can't see anything but just like that part of her chest, and her name badge says Alice. So I'm like, Netflix is trying to make an American version of the show, clearly, and it just feels bad and so forced. But the main character is not Alice. The main character is Arisu, Arisa, I think it is.
you,
Alice, you, and
it's Alice in Japanese.
But it's a male's name as well as female's name. So,
well, not the first time they've gender flipped something, but yeah.
Okay, but anyway, yeah, that's a big part of why I'm like, why did I waste my time watching this?
Yeah, that does remind me that I'm still watching Demon Slayer. I'm in like I think what Netflix has as the beginning, the end of the second season, the beginning of the third season, and the second season thing was actually pretty cool. There's some good stuff in there, but a lot of it is still just not. I'm just not vibing with it. So. But and I started watching. We somehow, over the years, we wound up picking up a DVD copy of C Lab 2021 season 1.
Yes.
And like, I'm watching it and I'm enjoying it, but I'm like, I'm in like the last, 40 minutes or so of the season, and I'm like, I'm never gonna watch this again because I am not totally high. This show just doesn't have any rewatch value for me. It is no Venture Brothers.
No.
You can't see the book right now, but it's there. Like that show's good, and bears rewatching as opposed to that was kind of funny.
Mm-hmm.
Next.
Yeah, I remember that was the days.
There's a number of shows where I feel like that about a lot of those things. It's interesting. I wonder what the magic is that makes the show
weed.
Right.
I would also
know that not necessarily
weed.
that specific one, but I mean, I was thinking about, because when you first said C Lab 2021, my first thought that went through my brain was Sequest DSV. That was what ran through my brain at like lightning speed before I caught on to what you were saying. And on the same token, as also I have seen Sequest DSV, and it's the same thing. It's like, that was enjoyable. It was a lot of fun, but it was no Star Trek. You know what I mean? Kind of thing. And I was like, why is Star Trek hitting on all thrusters? Why does Venture Brothers hit on all thrusters? You know what I mean? Like, why doesn't Sequest or C Lab hit on? It just made me think that thought. That's all. I
Oh,
was like, that's interesting.
yeah. At least with C Lab, and I'm pretty sure that this is not the case with Sequest DSV.
Really?
C Lab 2021 has zero continuity.
Oh,
Like
I think-
most of the episodes I've seen result in the destruction of C Lab
Yeah,
Nasty.
death of
Or the-
everybody
and-
dies.
or the death of several characters, and then they're just back because it's just like another 12-minute long
Mhm.
vignette. Like I said, it's funny, but there's just not enough there.
yeah.
I
That's
think a big part of it too is it came out around the same time as Aqua Teen Hunger Force and Harvey Birdman, and both shows that were at the time.
And Space Ghost.
Space Ghost, and I think it was because we weren't inundated with just tons and tons of stuff to watch that felt like our stuff,
Mhm.
and that being was that I'm trying to remember what they called that on Cartoon Network. I thought they had a
Adult
name.
Swim.
Adult Swim. So when Adult Swim kicked off, it was like an animated version of Night Flight, Friday Night Flight.
right.
I think that's what it was called. Where I think, or the early days of MTV. But I think at the time it was filling a niche, a need that we had, and it was different than all the stuff that we're comfortable with, like Star Trek. So,
Yeah.
getting something different at the time was good.
Oh yeah, there's a lineage there where it's in the same lineage of, say, Liquid Television or The Head,
Uh-huh.
that show, or The Max or Aeon Flux. Just like, yeah, it's just cool stuff. But like, I didn't really like The Head, but I think that probably bears more rewatching than C Lab. It really seemed to be targeted to late teens, early 20s. You're totally high, and that's the same with Aqua Teen Hunger Force and Space Ghost and all that.
I haven't gone back to rewatch those, but I can guarantee I wasn't high when I watched them.
Yeah.
So it's not on my menu.
Yeah.
But yeah, and it's the shows that I would go back and rewatch out of all of the ones I'm thinking of right now would be Bird Girl, because I remembered each episode of that being fun, and it had lots of good continuity, and it had a story going for it.
Cool.
And the main character was just kooky. So, but it's not, like you said, it's not tight like Adventure Brothers is tight. They clearly went through a writer's room session a few times minimum per storyline, because they make it work on a long-term plan.
Yeah, and like even in the late seasons, actually, like I'm a super fan, so I've watched all the stuff I can on them. They were saying it's like, we are rewarded for our worst inclinations. Like doing, like, there's in the season opener of the final full season, which should have been the season closer of the previous season, there is the whole entire story is a callback to something from episode 2 of the series. And it's like, dude, and like it rewards that repeated watching. If you're a super fan.
Nice.
Yeah, it's super good.
There was I don't remember if they did it in the animated series, but in the comic book, there's a panel I can't remember if it's just outside on the street or at a fair in Invincible. And behind them, you have to like magnify the picture.
I've seen this.
Yeah, it's clearly Brock
Brock and Doc
and Doc
and
sitting
Rusty.
there eating a hot dog. So,
Yeah.
So I thought that was an interesting tribute to them.
Yeah, no, it's great. It's great. Yeah, The Prisoner, so good, and
But just so you
that
know, The Prisoner is so
yeah.
good.
Yeah, I'm saying that because to gather my thoughts of it, because that is a show that at once has continuity and does not. Because in every episode, how are they going to try to get what they want from the prisoner, and how is he going to thwart them? Or how is he going to try to get what he wants, and how is the village going to thwart him? But that changes, and not just in a play and counterplay, but like say like the very famous, everyone knows, it's an Iron Maiden song, you are number 6. Well, who's number 1? I am number 2, da, 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 da. Well, in the very first episode, there's a number 2, and then like halfway through the episode it just changes, and they do a lot. It's like who are you? He's like, oh well, I'm the new number 2, and just go from there. There's at least one episode where they have an election for the new number 2. There's at least one episode where the new number 2 is appointed, like in a very public ceremony. It's like, what the heck's going on here? it's just and like who can you trust? Who can number 6 trust, if anyone? And can he even sometimes some of the episodes can he even trust himself? It's a very interesting way to do it, where oftentimes you will have a show like, most shows, especially the long one, like a Burn Notice, will be like, well, I'm the main character and I have this goal, and then these are the obstacles that come in the way, and these are the incremental progress I make toward my goal. And the prisoner is just sort of like, nah. It's like, you will be thwarted. No, you will be thwarted. We will both be thwarted. Nobody succeeds.
Rage quit.
And it's yeah, I mean, think about it too. It's like, if the prisoner gives them what they want, then what leverage does he have? Sure, they're going to say, yeah, give us what we want, and we'll totally let you go. You guys kidnapped my ass, toss me in this open air prison. Fuck you. Can't trust you. Let's be real here.
Funny. It's a good series. I've
really
only
good.
seen
Holds
a handful of episodes, and it was a long time ago.
I have the complete run if you guys ever want to borrow it. So do your viewing.
Might do that. It's very interesting. That's a very interesting thing.
Yes.
So they did I guess a reimagining of it.
There's like a remake that was done about 20 years ago.
Yeah, 2009.
Yeah, and it's
Ian
doesn't it star McKellen? Yeah.
Yes.
My understanding is that it is really, really bad.
Ooh.
Like really bad. Like, don't watch it bad.
Hello, Brent.
Hey, Brent. Yeah, the original is is surreal, and it actually does kind of fit in with like a lot of the things I really like are sometimes surreal, but often really silly until they aren't. Like there's the big balloon orb thing that chases people down, Rover, right? And you think, yeah, whatever. That's just a dumb thing. It's pretty cool they did that special effect back in 1967, 1968, and got it to do what they wanted. That's cool. And then like the last, few nights when I've watched an episode and then gone to bed, I have nightmares about it, because it is a little bit silly, but the way that it grabs people, especially in the first episode, it shows it like suffocating them. It's not great. Not a fan.
No.
Not in my top 10 ways to die.
Yeah, it's like, Could I not be slowly suffocated by this thing? Thanks.
There's so many other things that better to be slowly suffocated by.
Correct.
So,
So yeah.
Yeah, it's been a long time since I saw. I used to be a big fan of the Avengers. The
Mm.
Oh,
black and white
yeah.
one and that was around the same time, the late
Yeah.
'60s. But that was
That's
like one
when
of the
British TV was like really, really live. I mean, like it was. We're talking about The Prisoner.
Yeah,
originally.
dude, with McGowan.
Yeah, but yeah, I
Um,
mean, like that's like a golden age of Doctor Who. That's the, you know what I mean. Like, there's some really good stuff in that era.
yeah.
That was British TV was really, really. I mean, up through the '70s even, because as bizarrely sexist as UFO was, one of the things about it was that it actually had an interesting plot line to it. I was much more interested in it when I was a teenager, naturally, but now I'm kind of like,
Yeah.
What was
take the mini
what was
skirts to a
UFO?
much more mini skirt level.
What was
Hot pants.
UFO?
Yeah.
It
I've
was
heard of
it was a secret organization to protect the Earth from aliens, sort of things.
Oh,
But
okay.
they had, space stations and stuff like that. And
Oh,
so, of course, the women's spacesuits were effectively just, swimsuits, effectively, with sparkly chainmail type stuff. I don't know.
Okay.
UFO is more known now for being, um, super sexy spacesuits,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
still in that same era. And I mean, like,
Mhm.
Space 1999 was an American show, but was British backed and stuff. So
Yeah.
same kind of thing.
for me, the Avengers was the first TV show I saw where they actually had a female character on equal footing with the male character, as far as being as competent and strong and not always needing rescuing. And you didn't see a lot of that necessarily until like,
And they were driving a Jaguar XKE.
which being a car nerd, of course, you know all that. That didn't matter to me. It had four wheels and went
Yep.
forward and backwards.
Cool.
Yep.
So,
Well, that
but
was
you know what?
my dad's favorite car ever.
Your dad,
And so he watched it because of that. My dad.
not at all for Emma Pill.
Many things can be true.
Not at all.
Yeah.
What?
I said not at all for Emma Peel, just for the cars. I watched the Avengers
Right.
for the articles.
Right? That's kind of the way I feel about UFO these days. Like, there once was a time where I watched it for the sexy girls, and now I'm like, well, trying very hard to watch it just for the plot now. It's kind of like going
So is
the
it-
other directions. Kind of like, eh.
So UFO is underdressed female objectification.
Yeah, there's a lot of underdressed female objectification. So, and it's one of those, it was more acceptable to younger me and not as acceptable to older me. I'm having
course.
that same sort of problem with Dirty Pair, which
Oh yeah.
I loved Dirty Pair so much when I was younger, and now I'm like watching it going, but yeah.
Yeah.
You know who doesn't objectify? I'm just saying.
And has a clean pair.
Yeah. Is that our sponsors, which would be Kieran Games, Geek Way Homes, The Massage Wizard, and Your
Your
Sorry, I'm doing my nails.
Yeah.
All right.
Need to practice the dwarven version of that.
Right?
Some Misty Mountains songs.
They-
It's about love and longing. And
Long
yes,
love. Wait,
hobbits. Why am
Yeah.
I getting into an argument with a robot? Sorry, I had to quote Venture Bros at least once in this episode.
Right.
Yeah, very cool. Very
Yeah.
cool. One thing I didn't realize on the first, like I knew that McGowan had been in a show called Danger Man, where he plays a spy. He's
Yeah.
named Secret Agent here in the States.
Oh, okay.
And so it was started in like 61, 62, went for a few years, and very much the same DNA as James Bond, very James
Right.
Bondian type of show. They even apparently they even tried to get Ian Fleming to uh, do some consulting on it. And then when he'd gotten tired of it, he was like, "Oh yeah, this will be my last season, whatever." Like one of the producers or the director
Hey,
was like,
Bob.
"Hey, I like working with you, and we work well together. What is a project that you want to do next? What could we do together? Before you decide to go do like theater full time or whatever." And McGowan came up with The Prisoner, and so the opening to The Prisoner, especially the full extended opening, is only used in the first episode, is very much. It's not the main character of Danger Man, but gosh, it looks a lot like him and drives the same car. And instead of like doing the regular Danger Man stuff in the opening, he's like yelling at his superior behind a desk and throws down his letter of resignation, and then runs off to go do the um grab his go bag, and then he winds up getting gassed and captured. So yeah, I thought that was like thought it was like that was pretty cool. Pepper was like, well, let's make a little what could have happened to this character.
Right.
This
Interesting.
terrible thing.
I didn't realize that it was called Danger Man. Now all of a sudden, Danger Mouse has a new meaning to me.
Right? Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
A show of which I will probably take to my grave the memory of when they visit America and there's a Texan just shooting guns in the air like Yosemite Sam, and behind him you see a nuke just launched like every 3 seconds.
Yeah.
So it's like
Yeah.
this is clearly what America is. So,
Definitely taking the piss.
yes. Uh,
So cool. Well,
Other
I think
nerds are. Oh, we talked about this before the show, but I don't think you brought it up yet
I know.
on the show.
I specifically wanted to get some other stuff out of the
Right.
way before we came to this, because this is probably going to take the
Yes.
rest of the time.
Yep.
And
So
that is
go
our
ahead,
Star Trek
guy.
fan has got a lot more money. Better get a lot more money to spend on Star Trek stuff.
Oh, yeah. I was like, what are we going to talk about? Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Because we were just talking about the fact that there was a merger between Paramount and Skydance Media, which I was speculating had caused all this, but I think Alex is right. There's
Well,
way too much time
I did not ask a
taken for that.
question that because I was busy kind of like crunching kind of the timelines, but who or what has Star Dance Media done? I don't know
Skydance.
their work by
I
name.
think Skydance. Well, so Skydance. Skydance. It's British, I believe.
I mean, I know I can Google it, but I don't want to. Tell me.
I'm googling it now so that I don't say anything weird. Um,
Too late.
Oh,
so
guy.
Skydance is now called the Paramount Skydance Corporation. So yeah, it created Top Gun Maverick, but it's what else is it saying? Oh, okay, it's mostly, it looks like Mission Impossible, which there's
Oh,
another connection back to Mission Impossible and Star Trek have a long and entwined history.
just
So the
because of
original
Leonard
television
Nimoy, or
series and Star Trek were happening at the same time, and there was kind of a war of budget between whether the
oh,
NBC and Desilu was going to devote money to Mission Impossible, which was right then. Speaking of 60s, 70s shows that were very popular, it was
so there's
very
gonna be
popular
spy
at that time,
shows.
right? And or were they going to devote money to Star Trek, which they felt like wasn't that big of um, a draw. So it's
Ooh.
always funny whenever Mission Impossible, which is now the Tom Cruise juggernaut, is getting now tangled back up with Star Trek again, which kind of makes that a full circle thing. But yeah, they've had a lot of things that they've been involved in from time to time, but I'm trying to kind of find a better. The AI thing is driving me absolutely crazy. AI answering questions. I'm like, I didn't ask you, actually. I wanted to go to Wikipedia. You got to go scroll through this whole thing, first of all. Oh, I guess it is American. So it's David Ellison founded it in 06. And it's got a lot of animation stuff coming out of it and things like that. I'm trying to figure out where it actually. Wow. So this is now called Paramount. So True Grit, Mission Impossible.
Like the new True Grit, I'm assuming.
Okay, good. So I wasn't wrong. It is also part of the Kelvin timeline, because they did Star Trek Into Darkness, which we don't talk about, but they and Star Trek Beyond. I didn't want to say that and then be wrong, because that would have been stupid.
I just admitted to deleting a save game on purpose, erroneously, and I probably had like a good 20 hours on that.
Right. Yeah. So it looks like the big things are that they're running Mission Impossible, Transformers, Spy Kids. These are all Skydance.
Spy Kids now, huh?
Top Gun. Yeah. So these are all like big juggernauts. And so the merger between the two, Paramount and Skydance, puts a lot of the same kind of things in the same bucket again. So that's kind of cool. But one of the things that happened was they merged with Paramount. And when they did, after that, we've suddenly seen Star Trek Lego sets. And now we've got Star Trek Magic coming out.
By seeing like announced,
and
right?
I'm sitting announced, yeah. But I mean, but the Lego sets may be out as soon as November.
No way.
There's discussion that the Lego sets might be on the shelves by Black
just
Friday.
in time to spend your big holiday bucks.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, and that's kind of what I'm worried about. But all of these, I mean, the thing about this is I'm a Lego maniac and have been all of my life. I'm a big fan of Legos. I love my Legos, and especially Lego Space. But when I was a kid, I took my Legos and drew little deltas on them, and I've been dreaming of minifigs that were Star Trek minifigs literally since I was a child. So the fact that this is coming out is quite, ground shaking for my world. I know it's going to be stupid expensive. I'm aware. You know what I mean? Like, but I'm kind of sitting there going, I don't know if it would like the 5-year-old me would forgive me ever again if I didn't do it. So
Star Trek
there's
Legos.
sort of that thought process of it. And that's kind of where things are going in my head. So I actually am doing a couple of side projects that are getting, $50 here, $50 there. And I'm just going to park all that stuff in an account and make my side project account be the one that pays for it. So, but it is not a cheap thing. They're saying that the Enterprise D is going to be a $400 set. So
one thing I was wondering when you're talking about the Enterprise D, because of course they've already have a bunch of Star Wars sets. I was right. and I know the answer is no, but I still would love to see them do the Enterprise D, like have all the actual ships in scale.
Oh, you know?
Because the Enterprise D is way bigger than a Star Destroyer. Like way
it
bigger.
Is. Yeah. And better armed. I'm just saying.
I know.
But yeah, that's an interesting thing. Anyway, so I'm looking forward to this in a lot of ways, and I'm kind of like, gosh, couldn't you guys have figured this one out in say 1985? I mean, that would have been nice, It's sort of instead of figuring it out now.
They didn't have nearly the shapes that they have access to now, so doing the tubular nacelles probably would have been a real pain.
Yeah. It was. I
Hmm?
made a number of Star Trek ships and Legos. So, but it's still, yeah. So anyway, I'm looking forward to this. This will be a lot of fun, I think. And Bob's saying he's just starting Lower Decks. Them some fighting words. Well, that was somebody had said, and I don't know if it was you guys, but somebody had said, well, finally we can try to, all we've done is modify the ancient time-honored war between which is better, Star Trek or Star Wars, but now it's going to be which Lego set is better, Star Trek or Star Wars. I was like, you're not wrong. So anyway, that's I am interested in this. This is there has been Star Trek has been notoriously weird about large franchises and getting into large franchises. So like Star Trek people have been asking for Star Trek to do Lego sets since 1999 when they started putting out Star Wars sets. We're like, well, obviously Lego's going to start getting into Star Wars, so why not get into Star Trek? So we've been waiting for a long, long time for this move. And Star Trek has partnered up with Mega Blocks, they've partnered up with Blue Blocks, they've partnered, you know what I mean? Like there's been all of these, they partner up with the knockoffs, but they won't partner up with Lego. And so it's clear that they're not opposed to the idea of making building sets, because there's a ton of them out there. I own quite a few of them. But it's, the big thing about the building sets in any building set is the bricks may be compatible, but the minifigs are not. All of them, that's their big thing. Every set, the minifigs all look different. And so I'm still kind of wondering what prompted this. Because they've avoided, they had their own, there's been a couple of Star Trek card games out there. In fact, the original Star Trek card game by Decipher that was put out in the 90s, that was actually a relatively popular game until Decipher folded. And it wasn't bad. I didn't particularly like it that much because it's just too much prep. And at the time, I was really not into prep work on games. I kind of liked the idea of sit down, shuffle the cards, and play.
Yeah. I never played it. I just bought enough packs to get, which was not very many, because I was, sometimes I have the devil's own luck, where I pulled Rogue
Right.
Danar like immediately. I'm like, I'm
Right.
done buying cards.
And that's what you wanted. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. So I never.
Bob's
played
saying that Legos hit a renaissance, and I kind of agree. And I'm sorry, I talked
No,
right
it's
over
cool.
you.
I didn't really have
Alex,
much else to say on it, just because I never played it, so I had no idea how it played.
Yeah. It was an interesting thing. The way the game worked was you laid out a timeline, and then you would apply ships and crew to each one of those cards on the timeline, and each one of those cards would be flipped over face down with things underneath them. So the idea was you would attempt missions and beam down to this planet, and there was a thing, and each one of the missions was some plot point from some episode of Star Trek, which not a bad plan. It's just that it took almost 30 minutes to build the timeline. And some games only lasted 10 minutes or 15 minutes, so it was taking longer to put the timeline down than it was to play the game.
Right. Yeah.
And so that always kind of bugged me. I was like,
Well, the Brent says when MTG's Trek guy will work on getting them all. I mean, the great thing is about Magic the Gathering is that you don't need to buy cards anymore. There's enough high res art files out there and stuff. You can just sit there and make proxies for your play.
Yeah.
But I also understand the desire to collect, because there are still some Magic. There's like the Dracula cards. I want to get all those. But yeah, no, that's
well, and I don't know. I mean, something about the idea of that makes me kind of think I'll be trying to get as many of those cards as I can. But I think, I don't know, it was saying, well, it said something about unlimited universes or something like that, which makes it sound like, to me, like it would be similar to the the Doctor Who sets and stuff like that,
Well,
where it'd be relatively limited
I don't know about that. I'm not super into Magic's product lines these days because I stopped buying
these
product.
days. Yeah.
But my understanding is that all the universes beyond stuff that used to be optional, like Lord of the Rings, like Walking Dead was the first one they did, like Warhammer, like
Yeah.
Doctor Who, was all separate product. Here's our Doctor Who Commander decks. Here's our Lord of the Rings Commander decks and stuff. But starting a few sets ago, all the universes with Beyond stuff is now part of Standard. Like they increased the number of sets that would come out every year for Standard, and the universes beyond, or the non-original stuff, like the licensed stuff, the Final Fantasy, the Spider-Man, that stuff is all premium pricing too. It's like pretty much 1.5 to 2 times the amount of a regular Magic pack, or more if you go for the premium stuff, like you're guaranteed to get everything a foil and maybe 2 mythics in this. Whoa, the pack costs $200.
No, yeah.
I found one of those packs. I forget what set it was, setting on the shelf in the back of Target, and I took it to the front. Said, "Hey guys, I don't think this is supposed to be back there. It's unopened, so I don't think anybody stole anything from it yet. But this is like retails for like almost 200. You guys probably have a area up front. You want to keep this?" And of course, the worker had no idea what I was talking about.
Yeah.
Probably just took it back to the toy section and set it there.
Yeah.
But yeah, those collector packs just are nuts to me that people spend that much on 20 cards or less
On gambling.
on gambling. Yeah.
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 Yeah. I'm interested in getting the cards. I'm not that interested in getting $200 worth of one card.
Yeah.
That's a little too much.
Yeah. I'm gonna hit up like Card Kingdom or something, and just pick up the Dracula cards that I want. And actually, what I thought was, and what came to my head thinking about this too, is that especially if you don't mind doing the proxy thing, they do have like space sets with lands, because there'll be Star Trek ones too. You can make a Star Trek set cube.
Yeah. My lieutenant friend Tony, when I say lieutenant, I mean the DK lieutenant, not military lieutenant, has spent the past few years actually designing and creating a Star Wars fan Magic the Gathering set.
Oh.
And it's gorgeous looking, and the work that he put into it to make sure the color identities are correct was just really cool.
Cool.
And he technically came up with Spaceship and Planet long before Wizards did. But so I guess that's something they do now, or came out with in one of their sets.
Yeah.
But he's planning on running
oddly in the Carnival one, that one, which I actually really like, the little one that's like because it's a space carnival.
That was one of the most recent unset, I think.
Yeah, it's an unset.
Yeah.
I can't remember. I don't want to say unhinged because I know that's a different set.
Yeah.
But
Unspace.
it's an unset. Yeah.
No, yeah.
But it's interesting the way the cards are set up, and it makes it play really bizarrely. So I actually kind of enjoy. I've been kind of thinking about making some kind of deck.
I've got a fair amount of them out of the stuff that I bought for NDK that I couldn't use in the idea that I was using the cards for at the time. So I had to pull all of those out. But yeah, next year he's going to run an unofficial cube of Star Wars.
That's awesome.
Obviously unofficial, obviously not for sale.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
Yeah, Brent says he still wants the Lord of the Rings ones at some point. Man, at last time I checked, the Lord of the Rings was still in the top 10 best-selling sets of Magic, and I'm pretty sure it's out of print. So you know how it goes, man. The longer you wait, the more expensive it's going to be. If you want OG original legit copies.
I kept hitting Costco's because they had Lord of the Rings gift box sets. Yeah. But of course, people would buy them all up to turn around and sell them, so I can never find them actually
Yeah.
there.
And Bob says bought the Final Fantasy cards, couldn't justify the dollars. Yeah, hugely expensive. And like I honestly like I looked at a bunch of the different cards, and like to be completely fair, no pun intended, I love Zach Fair as a character, and the one version of him that I saw, not card design wise, I was like, that's some bullshit. Because Zach Fair is way cooler than that. Fuck right off. But as far as the art design goes on a lot of the cards, it's like some of the like some of the design choices were just weird. And I say that as a consumer, not an artist. Like looking at it as a consumer, I was like, this looks like art from like the manual, or why did they, like some people also put up some comparisons like this is the Final Fantasy card game version using the same art versus like Magic's version, and the Magic version looks way worse in just how it was templated and conveying the information. It's like,
Mhm.
So yeah, I was not unhappy that I did not. I mean, I've like I said, I haven't bought a new Magic product in a year, almost.
Yeah.
Like I don't know whenever they fired a bunch of people right before Christmas.
Mhm.
That's when I
Yeah.
stopped buying Magic product, and then the next month I stopped playing MTG Arena because I was like, I'm just helping them, even though I'm a free to play player. For the most part, I would spend like $100 a year or something on that, spaced out over the course of the year. But I was like, oh, I'm still helping them with their ecosystem and stuff. So I'm like, I don't need to do that. Fuck them. So,
Fair.
but that's choice I made. I'm not going to be like, God, you're playing with those cards. I throw them on the ground. Like,
No, and that's one of those things. Like there are things that I do and don't do by ideology. So I'm certainly not gonna knock you for doing or not doing by ideology too.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Um where we live in a capitalist society, and the way to express your disdain is to vote with your dollar. And so yeah. There's nothing wrong with that at all. So but yeah, no, I I will support Star Trek till my dying day, I would hope.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm hoping that there will never be a moment where, well, that's it. I'd have to walk away from Star Trek,
Right.
And so I always think that whenever you talk about walking away from Magic, that's a significant chunk of your life that but I mean, like that's a
The game hasn't
significant
gone
chunk of
away. The support for new product has gone away.
Yeah.
right. But I'm just saying, like, that's the thing. And I kind of bringing this back to previous discussions that we'd made, there are a lot of people who don't like the new Star Trek or whatever, or don't like the newer Star Wars, and they are walking away from the franchises. And I'm like, gosh, I don't know what would happen if Star Trek took a left turn or a right turn or whatever, and suddenly I felt like it didn't represent well. You know what I mean? Like that's a significant chunk of my world. So I'd be really bummed about that. I don't know what I would do. And I mean, and to some degree, I kind of felt that way about Enterprise when they were going into Enterprise, because I was still kind of in that zone of being that kind of fan, the one that's like, oh, they're not doing what I want them to do. That's it. I quit, But I came around and I stopped doing that, and I've been happier since. The newer Star Trek's great. Some of them are better than others, and I'm not as fond of some of them, but I also don't feel entitled to get on the internet and gripe and moan about everything and tell everybody else how they're wrong for liking it. Still haven't figured out what that's the deal of, but here we are. So
because it makes them feel good.
it does. Makes them feel like
and the
they're
ones that are
doing
really
things.
popular get lots of money from it. So
Yep. Yep.
yep.
So
You know, did I
we've
tell
wandered off
y'all
topic.
that I mean, we got a few minutes left. Did I tell y'all that I watched Rogue One after watching Andor?
No.
Oh, you were in the process
Yeah,
of.
like I enjoyed Rogue One more now that I've seen Andor. But the things I
Yeah.
don't like about Rogue One are even more exemplified after watching Andor. Like,
Okay.
I think, like, I mean, funny, you put Donnie Yen in a movie, you make him a Force adept, you don't give him a lightsaber so he can deflect the Death Star blast back at it. Come on, it's Donnie fucking
Right.
Yen. Anyway, um, but in seriousness, like the thing that I disliked the most about Rogue One, and it felt even more jarring, was the incidental fan service. You bumped me in the street. You just watch yourself. How about you shut the fuck up and get to Tatooine? How small is this fucking
Mm-hmm.
galaxy?
Right.
You know? Oh, look, it's R2D2 and C3PO again. Come on. If you show them on the fucking ship because Princess Leia on the ship and they should be on the ship because we've seen A New Hope, good. But they're just hanging out and yapping for why not? And like the scene with the director guy and Darth Vader, oh my god, it's so bad. Just cut that 5 minutes out of the movie. He already knows he has
Right.
to go to the freaking planet with the plans and shit. Why does he go check in with Vader first? And then Vader does a fucking dad joke? Come on. It's like
Well, that's
so
fair.
bad.
I did really like how well they snapped the two together.
Oh yeah.
Though. I mean, like the fact that the last scene of Andor is literally leading into the first scene of Rogue
Yeah.
One. Because the last scene of Rogue One literally leads to the first scene of New Hope, which fits really well on all counts, and I thought that was great.
Yeah, and the pacing
So
of Andor, and I think it even goes to the opening of Andor. It is deliberately paced so that it gets faster and picks up more momentum the more the show goes, and then you go through Rogue One and it's super fast, and then you go through A New Hope, which is just lightning fast. It's like, wow, pretty cool.
Yeah, it's a beautiful
Pretty
ride
cool.
all the way through.
As of course I did.
Interestingly well done using a movie that's pretty old, you know. Being able to get all of that to snap together well is really kind of cool, you know. You start out really slow with Andor and ultimately get to the Battle of Yavin, and you're like, wow, that is just a roller coaster. Yeah, I agree.
It's interesting. I have to go back and check it out.
Yeah. Shows how ballsy Leia really was. Yeah. You're not wrong.
Yep. Cool. So there was something that we talked about at your party, your karaoke party, that we didn't bring up, but I think maybe we should bring it up next time. Cliffhanger musical episodes.
Oh.
Oh yeah, we should talk about that.
We talked about it at the party and not here?
No, we've never talked about it here that I'm aware of.
Yeah, I think it was a question of like what shows have had musical episodes and which was the first.
Yeah.
That was not specifically a musical show.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we should that sounds like a
talk
great
about
topic.
it.
I'm into this.
Sure.
Yeah.
Why not?
Yep. We're losing
Bob.
Bob there. He's fading
it's 10
fast.
o'clock. It's time to go.
Yeah.
10 o'clock, which means we've run out of time. But we will see you all next week. Same bad time, same bad channel. Until then, I've been Guy.
I've been Troy.
And I've been Alex.
And this is Geek Tank.